We're doing our usual Monday stream. We're probably I'm gonna try to go for an hour and a half like usual. I didn't eat anything, so if I seem more hungry than usual, that's because of that. But I wanted to highlight a comment that somebody wrote because I think it's important. By the way, on that last stream, I couldn't believe I had three comments from different people because I like mentioned that the only person that ever comments regularly is Tina, so I was very surprised by that. Thanks. Where's this comment? I remember the video it's on. I just want to quote it specifically. The most blamed man of all time. That's really how it felt. Okay. So Tone, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, wrote, I subbed for like 2 years after I left college, tried to become a full-time teacher like 10 years later, passed the test to be highly qualified to teach general ed, K through 6, 4 through 8, English as a second language, and special education. I did over 50 teaching interviews in the DFW area. Them B words didn't offer me one job. F them, cut my locks and all. I know you mentioned hair. So the reason I wanted to like highlight this comment is because it's really analogous to when I mentioned that when I would show the different proof of these places like being unwilling to hire anybody, you would have individuals who would like make excuses. Oh, maybe uh, you're not qualified enough for these positions, and it was the most insane thing to me to like show the jobs like where you're applying, and for them to like honestly say you need to have a master's degree to flip burgers or stuff like that. But it goes back to this thing that people want you to jump through so many hoops. I mean, like you could say his message is profane, right? Because he does swear twice in it. But I don't know if I did over 50 teaching interviews to get a job and I still couldn't get it, I would probably be calling everybody a swear word as well. Again, there's just a certain amount of effort that shouldn't be involved with a lot of this stuff. Let me say hello to Akatsuki Merchant. I know he left his comment a while ago. I don't. He doesn't like being ignored. Also, Dead by Daylight Mobile Adventures 4 and 5 are probably going to be done. They might come out one day apart. The reason for that is because with 4, I wanted to highlight another user I really like on that game that I play with. And with 5, there's this person I like to play with that I wanted to, because each match has 4 players in it. I wanted it to just be the two of us because even if we're working with randoms, we kind of, I think we play well together. We know what each other is trying to do. And instead of doing that, they invite me to be part of this group with them and these 2 other people. And I don't like to talk about the way other people play because I'm not some great, amazing player. We all have our, you know, not amazing playthroughs of that game, but those other 2 just there's a match that I recorded that by the end of it, I was so just angry that I wanted because I'd like to record 2 of these at least to do a video. I forgot to turn on the recorder for the recording material for the second one because I was so frustrated over losing a completely winnable match. This person did a generator and got so close to finishing it, and instead of finishing it, goes to like the hook, and then as I try to finish the thing off, I have the killer chase after me. And as he chased, like it was so nuts. That's why I said a lot of times when the killer wins, it's because the teammates just they do things that don't even make any sense. So I'll probably end up doing that as the fifth one because that didn't make any lick of sense to me. I haven't seen one of your videos in years. Okay, what I don't know what I can do about them. Am I supposed to will you to your computer and force you to turn on my channel? I failed to understand what was gained from writing that. Oh, I haven't seen one of your videos in years. Whoa. A Akatsuki Merchant, it's every stream. It's always somebody, one person at least, writing something weird. Last stream, we had that broad that was like making 9 trillion excuses for women. And apparently now it's this person. Every time. It's already begun. Yeah, um, that Nyazan person that was like writing about my attire and stuff, he showed up in that first stream where he made his appearance like an hour in. The second time he showed up, he was the first person that commented, and I was like, "How do you do that? You insult somebody. You talk about how bad their stuff is, oh, you need to change, but then you're showing up to someone's stuff before anybody else. Like, what a groupie, you know?" And again, if someone that likes my stuff shows up first, whatever, but it's like you claim you don't like my stuff, but I turn the stream option on, you're within like 3 minutes, you're the first person there. That is weird. No, James finally decided to show up again. I would make you a mod again, James, but you're just gonna delete your channel for the ninth time. We make similar content. I was just surprised to see you. I didn't know you still made videos and did lives. What was there like a time limit on it? Yeah, they act like once they stop watching somebody, they just like die quietly in the background. This time I won't. You can make me a mod if you want to. Look, I got used to you just deleting your videos, but deleting your whole channels, like what in the world? That's why I'm not. When you make another channel, I want you to call yourself Sony James, or just put that company's name in your title, because that's what they do. They reboot the Spider-Man movies every couple of years. That's what your moniker needs to be. No need to be a prick. I didn't mean anything by it. I mean, if you feel that I'm a prick, you can go and watch somebody else. Like, we're not upset that you don't watch us, or are surprised that we still make stuff. You disappeared from my feed. You know how the algorithm works. I mean, sure, I've had people not appear in my feed, but if I'm subscribed to them, or if I remember who they are, I can just type in their name. Like, just because they're not in my feed doesn't mean I can't look up who they are. Hell, TYT was out of my feed for a good 2 months. I went and looked up who they were. I wanted to go watch the clowns. Don't blame the algorithm for why you don't remember somebody's name. I don't know what response he expected me to have. Hello, person that does content year after year that I completely ignored. I'm surprised you still make content. And if I was really being a prick, we would have blocked you for talking about something that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. So I said they get the slightest pushback and they try to insult you and call you out of your name and all the rest of that. I'm telling you, man, people really act like the world revolves. They do. Like, there are a lot of channels I don't watch anymore. I'm not surprised they still make stuff. I just don't watch them. You would never see me leave a comment like that. I can't believe this person I haven't watched in years still makes videos. Wow. The world revolves around me. If I'm not watching you, you're signing your retirement notice. I was about to watch yeah. We welcome everybody here, just not the rude ones. I tell you, if they get the slightest pushback, they start calling somebody names and trying to act like they're under attack. Like with that Tony guy, that dude wrote a whole essay about me on my video, and then is like trying to brag about predicting that I'm going to talk about it in the stream. Like I'm supposed to have someone write a nasty, long comment to me and just not say anything. So just another day in the hood. No comment. Oh my god. Hey, good to see you in the chat. Oh, you showed up earlier than you usually do. Yeah, we were just laughing at this person that apparently believes if he's not watching you, then you know you're like you're retired. Well, TYT is almost every other video bashing someone else other than themselves. Yeah, I think they've made a video on everybody. Like if you just type in like any prominent politician slash celebrity, if you type in their name, you can probably find a TYT video about them. Now they were the first example of like one of those I call it fake big channels where like yeah they have 5 million subscribers, but good luck finding a video of theirs that gets more than like 5 digit views. You know, like such a tiny margin of their people actually watching them regularly because your entire existence only matters when I'm watching you. You know, there was this Burger King that I went to with my grandpa like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and one day I went up there about 3 years after that and saw that like the same lady still worked, and I wasn't surprised by that because you know it's like just because we stopped going there doesn't mean the people that work there just quit, you know, because your entire presence only matters when I'm watching you. Yeah, I haven't watched you in years. Whoa. Yeah, I tried to make it to your stream early instead of an hour late or so. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. You know, for that other stream where that woman was like trying to write fan fiction about that guy, um, I told that same story because it happened in it's like 2018, 2017, one of those 2 years. But I told that same story a couple of years ago, and this guy tried to say when I was saying, you know, this is a good example of how someone who I thought the world of got screwed over by a woman. He was like, "Well, you're not him though." It's like, yeah, but the point is, if you believe highly in someone, if you think what they did was right, you know, as far as what they did to appeal to their partner, and they still get treated that way, you have a right to believe that this will likely be the same fate for you. It was the same thing when we were talking about the legacy stuff. It's like there are so many men much more important than me on any objective level. That's why we brought up Kirby. That's why we brought up Lee. That's why we brought up Ditko. Brought up different, you know, politicians. And if they don't get remembered after all the important stuff they did, your chances are even slimmer. Like that's why we were talking about that. That there are so many people who forget individuals that have a lasting effect to this day. I swear, man, people will say the dumbest, most outlandish stuff online and genuinely get angry with you, challenge them on it. Talk about fragile ego. I'm a prick for saying that it's weird he wrote. Like, you know, he didn't even address what I was saying. They always do that when they write these comments. Somewhat ill, but been resting up. Hope you've been good too. He's gonna watch the backlog of content. I believe that. I would sooner believe in the Easter Bunny than him actually going and like commenting on my older stuff. I would I would sooner believe that the Earth is flat than him going back and like writing comments on these older videos. I don't believe it. I can't be surprised to see a content creator I enjoy watching that I haven't seen in a while, and I'm the sensitive one. I mean, I don't know how we're being sensitive. Like I said, if I was really offended, I would have just blocked you. I would have said, "Hey, you're talking about something. Do what I'm talking about," and that would have been the end of it. We're so offended and sensitive that we let you run your mouth about us. And if you enjoy watching, why didn't you watch them for years? Like, tell you, this stuff it doesn't add up. People just write whatever. It's all bad. We did mention that like running gag is that a lot of these people when they start trying to like I guess argue, they put LOL like some variation of laugh out loud at the end of what they're typing to make it sound like they're just so amused and defeating you or whatever in debate. All right, man. I tell you, with people with like trolls on the computer, you really can't win because they'll say if you block them, they won and they got to you, or but then if you don't block them, they still say that you're sensitive. Like you just can't win with these people. It's just seething and coping, pretty much. Notice they have a tendency to make the whole stream about them. They're like, oh, we can't talk about what was actually being addressed. Let's give me a day in the limelight. Here comes another troll. Yep, every stream has to be at least one of them. There's a quota. We made similar. Well, I didn't see any of your videos, so I don't know if that's true or not. I don't spend that much time here. Peace, though. Hey, I'm gonna do my own version of what he wrote. I haven't seen one of your comments in years. Wow. How you been, man? We make similar content. I was just surprised to see you. I didn't know you still made videos and did lives. I thought you were dead or retired. So let it be known if there's a person on here that you don't see make a video for weeks or months or years, don't look up their name. Just assume that they've stopped making stuff or they're deceased and that you missed the funeral. You know, there actually was one troll in like I think it was 2018 who said stop making videos, and I just laughed. I was like, I'm really about to retire or like drive off into the sunset because some random person with no profile picture that ain't worth the gum at the back of my shoe is is calling for me to quit. That's really bizarre if you ask me. Like it's almost like it's your fault that this person just decided to believe you stopped being a thing after a certain point and didn't look you up. Because I've had channels because he likes to say, "Oh, the YouTube algorithm." I have channels before that I haven't watched in maybe a couple of months, a year. But if I think they're not making stuff anymore, I just type in their name and look them up. They always write some weird comment. It wasn't my fault. It was the YouTube algorithm. It made me not be able to look you up. Dude, even those like kids I went to school with in 11th grade, I haven't spoken to in like 5 or 6 years, were still able to look me up, and they don't blame the algorithm. Like he's so bad, he made them look good. Hello, person I ignored for half a decade. How are you doing? So he was really that offended. Yeah. You gonna blame the YouTube algorithm for why you treated someone you like the content of like trash? It was the YouTube algorithm's fault. They made it to where I couldn't look you up. So this website just it has no shortage of people writing bizarre and weird things just perpetually. Like really the only reason YouTube is any better than Twitter to me is that when you the percentage of people that makes videos tend to what's a good way of saying it? If there's some weird opinion, that person most likely won't make a video about it. Like they'll just write it in someone's comment section, where most people probably won't even read it. So a lot of the like weirder stuff that gets typed on here doesn't have like the same magnified voice as it would on Twitter, where everyone just types stuff to each other. He could have just said, "I forgot about you." You don't think that just the premise of that is weird? Like, I forgot to look you up. No, I forgot that I didn't know you still made stuff, and I haven't watched you in years. But somehow I ended up on your stream today, right after it started at a designated time that's been recurrent for over a year, at least. You know, see where that like doesn't add up? Like, oh yeah, it's just a coincidence that I caught you on one of the 2 days out of the week that you stream at this specific time that you mentioned you start streaming. Oh yeah, it, what a like literally if this was a movie that would be a plot contrivance. Exactly, people's lives don't stop moving on just because you stop watching their content. Yeah, just because you pretend somebody doesn't exist doesn't mean they just fade into a vacuum. I know this one guy who said he stopped watching Family Guy after like season 8 or 9. Like, okay, they're still making their show. Just like I actually had one voice actor who was like who just like the douchebag a lot of them are, quit, and then I think a year later was like, oh, you're still making your shows. Like, yeah, just because you screwed me over doesn't mean I'm gonna stop. That this one guy was like surprised that the Dragon Ball Super manga was still like because the show ended, but the manga like has gone on for the last 3 years. It's like just because you don't read it doesn't mean they quit. People really think if they're not checking something out, it must be over, or it's not going on, or something like that. He could have just looked you up easily if he was unsure you made content anymore. Yeah, that's my point. I haven't changed my name. I probably should call myself Stagnant Channel Number One or Harassed Man or something. Now, if I had a different name, I would understand, but like the same username, the same channel link, I just don't see how you defend that. I don't. So people on this website, there is something wrong with them. We're going to leave it at that. There's something in their system that doesn't work. Whether it's their brain, whether it's their hands that stop them from being able to type up stuff to find out about it. Something is wrong. Lonely millennial. Uh, I mean, I don't really feel lonely with the chick stuff. Like, yeah, it sucks to not get a date, but if they're just gonna beg me for money and do all this other expletive crap, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I'm missing out on too much because I don't buy the fairy tale of the relationship where people, oh, when you get with a woman, it's so amazing. Because, like I said, I was already with one and tried to be the biggest gold digger in U.S. history. She got invited to the White House to receive a Medal of Honor for such distinction. They're gonna put that bimbo in the Guinness Book of World Records. Who begged the most money? She did. We weren't even going after him for being surprised, but he had to pain in that way so he could be like, I'm not sensitive, everybody else is. Yeah, like if we were sensitive, we would have seen his weird comment because that knew we were talking about, just banned him. Like I would have said, how dare you not watch me for years? Get out. And then and that would have been the end of him. They always show out on a stream because they like, again, they like having a day in the limelight. They really act like my channel is The Simpsons. Because remember how The Simpsons has a whole bunch of episodes where it's about some secondary or tertiary, what's the other word? Tertiary character, some like minor or recurring character gets a spotlight episode every season or every 2 seasons. That's what that's what they act like my channel is. It's like if I go on there and write weird stuff, I can get my time to shine, my day in the limelight. Because I know if I go to any of these other bigger ones, they'll ignore me unless I give them a super chat. They want they want their day in the limelight. No, we weren't even going after him. Nobody did anything to that person. We didn't penalize him, or I mean, we just talked about how dumb it was to say that someone apparently vanished from being a person you thought made content, not because they changed their name, not because they had some big hiatus, just because you didn't feel like looking them up. Whoa. I can't believe this person still makes videos. Who would have guessed? So I said the men on this website just. I shouldn't even say the men because if part of me doesn't even believe that Serena person was a woman, but if they were, they're just as insane. She really that person really tried to say that women have to wear makeup and high heels to like to impress men. It's like I don't know what backwards reality you live in, but I went to 3 high schools. All of them had a dress code. You couldn't wear makeup. You couldn't wear like shoes that had a heel that was above a certain. Basically, that stuff was outlawed, right? You couldn't do it. Whole bunch of chicks still had boyfriends. Like I don't know where. That's why I say every time they write that stuff, I don't know if they're actually serious or they're just trying to get attention. Because who believes that a woman has to wear a certain kind of shoe and spew a bunch of fake crap on her face to get a date? Yeah, supporting big channels that are already big. Oh, they love doing that. They come to a small channel to promote the one that's like 30 times the size of that. Did you guys see the new video by da 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 da? Like, no, if you mention him again, you're getting blocked. You can go sit in his comment section and suck him off. All this free advertising. There's been some add-ons YouTube recently about super chats too. Yeah, I think they sent me an email. I didn't read it. In high school, you're told what not to wear. In the real world, you're told what to wear. But you know what I'm saying? They had a dress code that, to my knowledge, everyone followed unless they wanted to get thrown out of school. And the female students, without wearing makeup or high heels, still were able to get some. Like I've literally never seen a man say, "Oh yeah, this woman is hot," but I didn't like the shoe she was wearing. Never. I told you like all the little like nitpicky BS that they have for men. You never see it with women. Yeah, she's pretty, but she wasn't wearing makeup, so I'm not sure about. Never. It depends if the yeah, but I'm saying that in my instance, it was private, and the last one was public. Again, they saw the uniform. So what I'm saying is, I know for a fact that you don't have to wear that stuff to go on a date. Like if you're a woman to go on a date with a man or a male or whatever you want to call them. I don't know where people get these. Just she's pretty, but her shoes are dirty. It's not even just like dirty shoes. It's literally, oh, I think this person is attractive, but I didn't like what she was wearing. I've never seen that. Oh, this woman's attractive, but I didn't like that she wears glasses. I'll tell you, people on this website really think I'm Clark Kent. If I just, oh, you just take off your glasses, you have this brand new appearance. That's why next month I'm gonna do a stream with a red cape. Men are the only ones that have all these nitpicks and find 900 trillion flaws in this person. And again, it's like, who wants to talk to people who no matter what, are gonna blame you for this stuff? Like, what incentive do you have to initiate or participate in a dialogue with someone that's gonna blame you for this, no matter what? They were just trying to make it seem that women had to put on certain attire to attract guys is all. Well, we know that's not true. You know how we even another example. As far as I can tell, there are like multiple pictures of naked women all across the internet, right? And you never see anybody say, "Oh, I wouldn't date this person because she's not wearing any clothes." And she failed miserably after being challenged and told it wasn't true. But where do you see? Oh, I got okay. So I got my glasses on. I got Marco and Megumi confused because they have the same M with like the red color. No, I haven't seen that person in a while. He shows up very sporadically. And imagine Marco came in here and he was like, "I didn't know you still made videos. I haven't seen you since January. I thought you had passed on." And I was gonna give a eulogy at your funeral. No, she did fail miserably. Like we were all laughing at her. That's typically what ends up happening with these people. Like they're not writing anything that when you just think about doesn't it like hold up. Just weird comments one after the other. LOL might have to finally add a profile picture to my wife. Yeah, like that. I got tripped up because you guys have the same basically icon because it's the M and the orange or red or whatever color it is. The red orange. So I got that threw me off. I didn't know you still made videos. Oh my god. And then my favorite thing is when they say, "Oh, you're still bringing this." I'm like, well, I mean, it's kind of your fault that we even know this. Like, if you just came in and said hello, nobody would even like. No one knew who you were to even remember that you apparently watched years ago. like that. It's just like that guy, the one from the Discord snake where he like looked up my account without my permission or something like that, and then made some nasty comment about the way I looked, and I was like, I don't need to hear what another man's opinion of my appearance is. And it's like you did it to yourself because if you didn't look up my stuff without my permission, you would have never seen what I look like, and they would have made your dumb comment. That's why I said these people believe that they can like write weird crap, and if they get any pushback, oh my god, why is this happening to me? No, that Discord snake always found a way to like be the victim after he hung himself. Like he kept telling me about these guys that were in a server with me and him. Must have been 3 years ago, and then like how they would still bring me up, and I would never ask about this because I didn't care. There's scum that aren't again worth anything to me. And then he like brings up that they got mad at him over something, and he finally stopped speaking to them. And I was like, so they write all this nasty stuff about me year after year. You don't care enough to stop speaking to them, but they write one bad thing to you, and then oh, it's time to finally cut them off. And he got offended. I was like, dude, if you're still the one who caused this because I wouldn't have even known that you still speak to those people if you didn't tell me about it because I didn't ask about them. I don't care. So I say, do it to themselves. They play victim. They give you all this information, and then when it comes back to bite them, they try to backflip and cartwheel and all the rest of it. I'm just tired of James deleting his channel. This is his 20th channel. He has rebooted his channel more times than Sony rebooted the Spider-Man franchise. He has deleted and uploaded new videos more times than George Lucas cut his Star Wars trilogy. Remember the special editions where they add the CGI? That's what he did. I'm gonna say, still that snowflake on Piscord was just mind blowing. Oh, the Discord snake, because that's not the only weird person that was on there. Because I did a video about a snowflake on there. Were you referring to the Discord snake? Oh, and I never got around to doing this video, but I did mention in my stream where there was a server I joined where it said you can't make any romantic passes toward any of the female users, right? That was like one of the rules, which I don't care about because I don't try to talk to chicks on the computer anymore anyway. Literally, day one, my first hour in that server, I go in the VC, and a woman comes in there and asks if me and these other males in there want to hear her moan. And it's like, that's the stupid stuff I'm talking about, where there's a rule to protect you, and then you're going to try to get these people to like violate it by like coming on to them sexually. Like, it's so weird. Let's protect the person who's going to then try to get everybody else in trouble with her stupid erotic crap, like just I just thought that was funny. Like, you read this rule, right? Don't talk to or initiate any romantic stuff with the women in the server. And then literally day one, your first hour in there, that happens. Yeah, it was just some chick you tried speaking to on there. Oh, you're talking about the one where I asked her what her interests were, and then she reported me to the mod of the server, and my mouth just dropped to the floor. I was like, "Are you serious?" Even the mod was like, "Were you genuinely curious?" I was like, "Why else would I ask the question?" Like, to this day, I'll never accept I did anything wrong because I've been asked that question by a whole bunch of people online, and you don't see me going around reporting somebody. Don't ever ask me what I'm into. That's a secret. It's just narcissism and projection on their end. They think they're too good to interact with other people. Yeah, but like I said, man, it's like you're in these servers to talk to other people. Then when someone tries to message you, you act like that. Like you can ignore a message and not try to get someone in trouble. That's why I said Discord is the only website where people actively try to act like villains. Because it's one thing to just not say anything back. It's nothing to try to get somebody in trouble with the overall site. So I really despise a lot of the people that use that site. I think it's very awful. The way they act, the way they treat other people, it's just trash all around. Anyone who talks to me must be attracted to me. I'm not insecure at all. Remember what happened with what was that stupid thing she wrote? Like 99% of the time when a man messages a woman, it's to like be interested in her romantically. I was talking to her about the news, and then she sent me that paragraph with that warning. I'm not looking for anything romantic. It's like, dingbat, neither was I. What are you talking about? But it goes back to that thing. If you're a male and you talk to a woman, there's always this weird erotic subtext. Just like the bimbo that I was talking to on Instagram that was in the why do women with boyfriends videos like talking to, with boyfriends like talking to me, that video. Um, Talking to this person about movies, and then after like a week or two, she asked me for a picture of myself, which I comply with because whatever. I'm assuming this is a single person. Then you find out she has a boyfriend. So you're like, why does a woman who has a boyfriend, who I'm talking to about films, need to see a picture of me? Like it goes back to that whole thing of the weird erotic subtext between you and these chicks you speak to online. It really sucks. If it is a single guy talking to a chick, it must be wanting to get with her romantic. Well, one of my former mods said this best. He said, "Women want to be able to speak to men and not be accused of trying to get with them or any romantic crap. But then they also want to accuse every single man or most men that they speak to of trying to get with them." That's why I said I just don't see a purpose in talking to them if all you're going to do is get accused of something. Because if you saw the way that broad reacted on Discord to a message asking, "What are your interests?" She really tried to make it. That's like a prototype Me Too thing there. And remember, she got that just bent out of shape over a message. Like if they can take something as innocent and minor as that and twist it into this evil, conniving master plan by me to, I don't know, seduce somebody. I don't even want to imagine what other stuff they can twist. 99%. Where did she get that? Oh, she just, dude, listen, whenever these people cite a statistic, it's usually one they made up. Because, like, if I bring up something, like, if it's related to the news and I bring up a statistic, I can show you where I got it from. But if these people bring that stuff up in the course of a discussion or debate or argument, it's a random number they pulled out of their behind. I was talking, this is about 4 years ago. There was a prostitute that I called at one point, and they said that 99% of the time when because they can be racist all they want, they never get in trouble for it. When a black man tries to talk to a prostitute or a hooker, he beats them up. So again, like that statistic is just something that they make up. They just say that like, oh sure, there's 1% that doesn't do it, but all the other ones are all abusive, even though we have no proof to support that. Because first of all, 99% of anything is just insane. So like whatever, it's really dumb, man. They don't actually have any proof to support. They just make up a number. Definitely a fit. Yes, you'll find that there are very few statistics that act like if they're in the 90s, it's very rare to find one that is exactly 99%. Like shooters, like terror, like when there's a mass shooting, it's like 95, 96, 97% a man, but it still isn't 99%, even if you would think it would be. Um, when black people are murdered by another person, over 90% of the time, on average, it's another black person, but it still isn't 99%. You get what I'm saying? That even if the statistic is like heavily if it's like over 90%, it still isn't 99 exactly because there's always some semblance of other people that do it. So yeah, she just made up the number. But again, that's why I said that, like, why should I talk to someone who is so egotistical that she thinks anyone with a banana is trying to get with her? Like, I don't see the purpose of that. So like every time you talk to a woman, it can be about the news, it could be about art. There's always this weird, unless it's some project thing, right? There's always this weird erotic subtext that is entirely imposed by them because you're not giving any signals, you're not asking them any kind nothing, and they still are like accusing you. And then you do your own research and find that it's either a non-existent statistic or the statistic proves a point that contradicts the rhetoric. I mean, we were talking about this with the LBJ stuff, where it's like, oh yeah, the welfare state makes black kids not have dads, but then the majority of people on welfare are whites, and they get married to each other when they have children, or are married when they have children 70% of the time. So you get the idea, man. When they want to spin something, they don't care what the proof is, what reality is. We made our ridiculous point, so into the toilet we go. I actually was talking to my best friend about this on Friday. He was surprised that most people on welfare are white. He's like, yeah, most people in the US are white. So on any program, it's probably going to be them as the majority on it. And he didn't know that either. It's like, dude, if you can believe in the upsurge of minorities all you want, but if you go to Alabama or Texas or Florida, Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina, Missouri, Mississippi, Wyoming, you go to any of those states, Vermont, and you'll see how white the U.S. still is. Dude, people don't even care to know about anything. They don't care about statistics. They don't care. Like, it's so depressing, man. That I even had to actually sit down and explain to another adult that yes, the majority of the U.S. is white still. Like, what did you? They think since they go to these states that have like mixed, and even then it's like most of these states don't. Again, this is just another example of like statistics and people not bothering to look things up, and like what they see, they try to, I guess they believe over what reality is. She probably get approached all the time, so, but it still doesn't justify you having someone that doesn't ask you anything romantic, that makes no attempts at getting with you, and then believing that they're concocting this dastardly deed to get you in bed. It's like really dumb. Like, again, let's flip the genders here. I'm on Twitter. I have a woman who asks me how I'm doing, starts talking to me about the news. Uh, I give this person my number, and then we start speaking about the news. And then out of nowhere, right after they asked me for a second phone call, because the first one was about the news, I say to them, by the way, not looking for anything romantic. They're like, what the hell? Who said I was either? That would be the and they would be entirely in their right to look at me like I was psychotic. You made no passes or moves toward this person, but because you have a banana between your legs, I'm saying that in place of the more profane phrase that can be used, you're going to get accused by this person of trying to get with them. Dude, that must be like the worst thing ever. Like actually believing that every or almost every single man you talk to is trying to get with you. Like imagine going to the post office. Oh, there's the mailman. I better not say anything to him, or he might try to ask me today. Dude, if you still don't see why that phrase and what she said makes her ego larger than Mount Rushmore, I don't know what else to tell you. Because I know I would look like a damn lunatic if I came on here and said 99% of the time when a woman tries to talk to me, she's asking me on a date. or she wants to go on a date. I would be laughed at. Other people point and giggle. They would go, ha 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 ha. Yeah, right. But if a woman says something insane, we all capitulate. Oh, it makes sense for her to feel this way because she gets up. It's like, yeah, but to say that it's 99% of like, I don't even, I very, whatever. I think it's really stupid. That's the best way to put it. And again, that's like, I told her, if you think somebody's trying to do some kind of romantic trash you don't like, you have to talk to me. Remember, nobody makes these chicks talk to these men. They do it themselves. That's why I didn't feel sympathetic for that dingbat on Discord that was trying to talk about how men approach her all the time, and she tried to compare it to like not having anyone show interest in you if you're a man. It's like, oh, you come on the internet, go in these chat rooms and forums, and when these men private message you, you respond to all of them. Like I've had people write comments in my comment section trying to talk to me. It doesn't mean I have to respond to them. Like, this is the internet. Nobody made her sign up for these websites. That's why I don't feel sorry for them, because they did it to themselves. I guarantee you that on average, you're going to get less men trying to. And I'm not saying it's not that many, but you're going to get less men trying to talk to you in real life than on a computer, because you'll encounter less people in real life than on a computer. Usually, just generally speaking. That's why I never feel sympathetic toward chicks in this circumstance. Oh, poor woman has all these men trying to talk to her and showing interest in her. Overrated behind. Someone mail me a box of tissues. A bimbo has men showing interest in her. What a tragedy. Dude, I tell you, chicks are like, they have the biggest victim mentality. I could really imagine one of them winning the lottery and then being like, I just played the lottery and then I just suddenly had thousands of dollars. What am I gonna do with them? They always find a way to make, like, no matter how desirable the situation would be to anybody else, they find a way to make themselves the victim. Like that broad that was living at that guy's house and like rent free, just had to clean stuff up. The guy, she was like, uh, this woman had a crap life having to clean this guy's dirty house. Like, so her life is crappy because she has to clean someone's house every couple of days at most. But the person who has to go out and pay for the house and take care of a sick partner does not have a crap life. Okay. Because I'd rather be the one that, if I was like choosing which is worse, it would be, having to provide for yourself and someone else. So they always find a way to make the woman the victim, just no matter what. How can you feel sorry for someone who has so many options when you as a guy hardly have any? Yeah. That's why I don't feel sorry for them. Not one iota of sympathy. That's like trying to get hired somewhere and nobody hires you, and then this person has like different employers like seeking them out every day. Like, hey, are you gonna come in for your interview tomorrow? Hey, oh, are you gonna come in for your interview on Saturday? Hey, are you gonna like, you wouldn't be able to empathize with it or feel sorry for that person at all. They always find a way to just make themselves sound so like, I'm telling you, no matter what the circumstance is, they're always the person who has it so hard. Oh, poor me. All this bad stuff is happening. Whatever shall I do? I'll tell you, if I came on here complaining about women approaching me and oh my God, so many chicks, I would get laughed at. That's how you know the stuff they say. Like just flip the genders and you know it's ridiculous. That's all you have to do. So I come on your video and try to attack you for an outfit and say, "Oh, this is why you can't get a date." It's like I have never seen a man say he won't date a woman because of a shirt or a jacket or what. Like what? But again, they really believe in doing that kind of stuff because it fits their narrative. You know, their just world fallacy. Oh, he just didn't wear 3 trillion different outfits to appeal to women. That's why I said too much effort, so little reward. Hey, remember the other saying, "The juice isn't worth the squeeze." That's how this stuff is. They want you to do a lot of stuff for something so minor. No, but if you had told me, because I remember what it was like when people didn't have iPhones, like they had what was it, BlackBerry, like just different like T-Mobile and all kind of other little companies, right? Just phones where the majority of features where you call somebody, you might send a text message, and that's about it. But if you had told me that we would get these phones where you can go on the internet anytime you want, you can look up anything you want anytime you want, and people would still like not know who did various important things, I would not believe you because you know, there were people before the internet, right, that gave Kirby, for example, acknowledgement on being the person that made a very solid majority of most of the properties that Marvel has benefited from. Like they would go to conventions to see him, and he received praise in his life for his inventions, even if the MCU didn't exist at that point. So there have always been people who will look this stuff up and know who made it, but it just seems like there should be more of them now because of the internet, and that's not the case. Remember, the date is a prologue, which also requires a prologue now too. Dude, they're gonna turn like becoming boyfriend and girlfriend into a trilogy. Like the first movie is talking to this person for thousands of months. The second movie is uh, get like going on a date, and then they like dance between whether they want to go on another one or not. And the third one is finally being a couple with this person who then proceeds to beg you for your money. They're simultaneously the martyr and the victim. I told you, man, when that broad agreed to date me when I was in 12th grade, 5 years of people talking about how great relationships are, and it just I was like that was the most anticlimactic thing I'd ever seen. They gas you about how great being with a woman is, and then all she does is beg you for money. After she was nice to you for that whole first month, when you agreed to date her, she went shh, 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 and then started begging for coins every day. Nah, we told that Decepticon piss off. Go beg Megatron for some coin. Did you come back from your mission to extort Justin for cash? Yeah, it didn't work. You got stars from the background. This would have been a total success if I had been allowed to lead. Oh my god, they like I really don't. It's sad because somebody will actually believe we invented that, but if you saw how excited I was when she said yes compared to how I felt not even a month later, it was like what is this? So you either get rejected, or if you get with one, it's some ulterior motive crap. I'm not interested. I only like you as a friend. The multiple personalities is also a factor as well. Yeah, that's why I said they act like Blitzwing. They can't just have one personality. I mean, you saw with the bimbo that was trying to control me. She was nice, then she was sour, then she was nice, then she just couldn't pick a personality. Gonna try to tell me who I can and can't watch. It's like, what? That's really like I've never had a woman before that. Because even the gold digger didn't do that. She, like tried to tell me, like try to say that who I watch is a factor in them not wanting to speak. It's like, what in the world? I just thought that was insane. Like I didn't make this person watch them with me. I did like I just again, if you flip the genders, if I went and told a woman that she couldn't watch someone or that her watching a person that's nothing to do with me is a factor in me not wanting to speak to her or date her or whatever, I would be called controlling and rightfully so. There has never been a single person that I have tried to stop speaking to because they watch someone I don't like. My only request is I don't have to watch them with you. If you want to, you can watch that person all day long. I don't care. That's insane. Very controlling and manipulative. And you know, it's really what else is like really comedic. The first time she cut me off or like did her like purposely ignoring me thing, she didn't even know I watched that person. So now you know for a fact that like even if you did what she said, oh, I'm not going to watch the person anymore because I love you so much, she would have done the same thing to you again. Like the first two times, right? Oh, it's because I want to spare your feelings or whatever. That's like some like martyr. Oh, I'm trying to protect you from being hurt by me not reciproc. That stupid trash. Third time was just her being a bimbo, a multi personality bimbo, and you saw that in the message I wrote to her. Because the last two times I unfriended her, I didn't say anything. It's like no, this time I'm gonna give you all of it. I'm not holding back. That's why I said when a lot of these people get a video made on them, whether it's her or that guy that was like that set the lying world record, they have a tendency where they make it to where I can't speak to them, like directly talk to them. Um, so like as a way of venting, I do the video because like, hey, look at that with this insane thing this person did. Just imagine if a guy exhibited these attributes towards a chick. Yeah, they would be seen as insane. Yeah, very manipulative and controlling. I agree. But again, because they're a woman, they can do this stuff to you and nobody cares. That triangle, man, is so powerful. It makes people trump logic. It makes people expect you. Like I really wish these guys and that woman right that was on that last year would just come out and say they think that if you're a man, you're a woman's slave. Everything you do has to be in the pursuit of trying to get with her. If you're not with one of them, you're of a lesser value inherently, right? I'm just waiting for them to come out and say that. You have to totally and completely capitulate and appeal to this person no matter what because they have a triangle. You saw that crazy chick, right? Respect all women. It's like, listen, I would never one day, and I'm like supposedly on the side of men, I guess, but I would never say respect all men because there are a lot of men that are terrible. So if I don't respect all men, I'm definitely not going to respect you because you have a triangle. Just inherently, respect me because of my gender. Yeah, no, thank you. And then wrote that racist crap. There are a lot of hateful black guys, so I just assumed you were one as well. Because we all know all black people act the same, right? Again, a comment like that gets to be written on my channel, but if I block somebody, my free speech, let them write racist things to you, please. It's stronger than the Triforce. That triangle is the real life plot armor. Dude, they get away with everything, like just from having that. It's real. Like I can give a whole list of examples in real life where just having that triangle just made such a difference as far as like how people treated them and whatnot. White knighting is at an all-time high. It's just funny. It's like I'm going to defend women from your supposed sexism, even though we've said before it's not all women. But so they like to they like to selectively hear what we're talking about. But I'm also going to do that while being racist toward you. I'm going to fight sexism with racism. Nobody sees the irony in that. Like I'm going to sit here and white knight while also like being discriminatory toward you based off your ethnicity. Those type of people are hypocrites who fail to see that the standard they're applying to men are something they won't do them. Yeah, we talked about that before. Like none of these guys who write that advice ever show proof that they've done that stuff or that it's netted them a woman. It's just people type. Remember, they type this stuff to feel strong. I had a guy who said I had a punchable face in the and I want to actually make a video with screenshot and be like, come hit me. And what the Joker saying, Dark Knight, come on, hit me. Like guys on the computer type all this stuff, no proof, because it makes them feel strong. While they hide their faces and are scared to turn the webcam on. Apparently, you were supposed to scan through the computer to identify her ethnicity. And again, like I could make an account right now with no profile picture and say I'm Asian. Like you saying it, I don't even believe that person was black. Show some proof. Like I'm tired of it being where I have to show all this proof of all this stuff I'm saying. But then these people get to attack me, get to just make up stuff, and we're supposed to take them at their no, forget that. How is that fair? Imagine if court was like that. Oh, lawyer, we know that the person who is criticizing women has proof of what he says, but you need to believe us because we claim things. Okay, you have any proof that that women do this stuff? Oh no, just believe us. Take us at our word. Hateful black guys. It's not like there's other races of men who could. No other race of men complains about women. Only black men. I told you that they don't even try to make sense. And again, it's like you're sexist, so I can be racist. It's funny how that works, huh? It's okay for me to make discriminatory, generalizing comments about you because I am also black, even though I'm not going to show proof that I am. Yeah, but no need to hate all women, though. Yeah. Dude, I'm serious. No one who has any recurrence on this channel has ever said all women. No one. I don't know where. There. No, I'm not going to bring that example up. There's a political example I was going to make, but it's like literally, I went through these streams. No one says that ever. It's just something they made up. So tired of all this fan fiction. They make up all these stories. That's why I said, what's the point even like trying to address what these people say if they're just going to make something up? You probably did this. You probably did that. Anything we can say to defend the dingbat. Just irritating, man. Oh, by the way, one of the matches I recorded, and this is funny because I think it's amusing. So the killer was chasing me for I think about maybe two or like my teammates did 2 or 3 generators, and we get all the way to the exit gate. I open it. I'm about to go through it, and then it shuts off because the killer so the killer rage quitted because he was losing so badly. I can't wait. I recorded that. I can't. I'm gonna post it because we were doing some pretty cool stuff during that match. And it's like we're gonna get robbed of our victory because you want to disconnect right as we're about to win. Really? So I'm putting that in the video. Maybe he just disconnected. No, no, he did it on purpose because we were about to go right in the exit gate, and then you gonna shut it off. No damn coincidence. I don't know who they're trying to trick. It was as silly as Kyle Kalinske saying he would be the guy up if they. No, no, he said if someone talked away about my mother or my sister or my girlfriend, it would take everything I have to not want to beat. It's like, man, set your little scrawny self down. Nobody's scared of you. It's like people online try to sound so strong. I wouldn't beat somebody up if they said something about my mother because, first of all, nothing you write on here is going to translate to something that can hurt her in the real world. So, imagine like just random trolls just say something about like his mother, sister, and girlfriend, and then he's like traveling around the world to fight all of them. You could give the lightest critique of a woman, people immediately go, "You think you're entitled to?" Yeah, because they're not. That's why I said I don't want to be part of the I Word group because they don't. They're just trying to lump you in a box. There are plenty of hateful black men. Like, yeah, so I'm gonna ignore what you're saying specifically, so I can generalize you based off the color of your skin. You see what I mean? Rage quitting in online multiplayer is a low thing to. The only time I'll disconnect is if it's a hacker. And even then, most of the time I don't disconnect again because I want to record it so I can report them. Dude, one hacker had this thing where like he's sitting on a different floor from us and able to hit us from like through the roof, which you can't do unless you hack. Another one had it to where when you drop a pallet in front of him, he can make it vanish instead because it takes like 2 or 3 seconds for them to break it with their leg. So that game has a lot of hackers, but I still want to make that Sonic the Ghost Face video where I show you that ghost face that was moving like he was like he was Flash. That was insane. Kind of stuff like that really does piss me off because I have a lot more respect for someone if they win with their skill or like lose with their skill. They just I don't know why you can't play legitimately. Why that's so hard to just have people play you know without putting any of these cheat codes. It's stupid. The only time I'll use any kind of hack when I'm playing a game is like when I'm playing Pokemon. I want to get like all the starters. But it's never in like a multiplayer, like some game that has other people playing. It's only if I'm like using a ROM or something. You could give the lightest. Okay, we're at the. Um, yeah, but no need to hate all women though. Like, yeah, dude, I'm totally scared of some limp-wristed white guy who does podcasts on YouTube. I'm just imagining like after he says that, everyone that watches him is just like cowering in fear, like scared that he's gonna come and get him. There was this one guy that about 4 years ago he married. So, man, I don't even know if I should be telling this whole story to make a joke, but he had a a relationship with an underage girl. She popped out a kid. They were with the kid for like the first year. Then the woman or the girl gave the kid up for adoption. Then when the girl turned 18, she met this couple who now had 2 other kids. So he banged his daughter to have a incestuous son, right? And then after the daughter broke off the relationship because it was causing, all kind of little different troubles for her, he strangled the little boy and then shot her and her dad while they were and killed both of them while they were driving and then shot himself. And somebody made a video about the story where they were saying like they have to clarify that he's dead because people might think he's going to come for them and he's going to be hiding under their covers. And every time I think about like that line, I'm just imagining he faked his death and he's like hiding. He's like reading comments on YouTube to like try to find who's talking trash about so you can come to your house and hide under your covers to get you. Like every time you go into it's like this big lump in the bed. Again, I just when I hear stuff like that, yeah, the story is really screwed up and evil, but just I'm like the imagery of this man thinking that hiding covers is a good spot to where you won't notice that he's in there. Like I visualize that, it makes me laugh. That's why I'm not laughing at what happened. That was horrible and really disturbing. But just the imagery of like him actually faking his death and then like going on YouTube to read all the nasty comments being written about him so he can come to your house and get you. But before that, he has to hide in your covers. Oh my! I could really picture someone doing because there are a lot of stupid criminals, so I could picture him doing that too. I'm really scared of some limp wristed. I mean, hell, you know what about Kyle? That's really funny. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to be scared that he made this comment, but he was scared of doing a podcast with Jimmy. Like he ghosted him. He didn't even say, "I'm not going to do this with you anymore." He waited for the day that they was scheduled, and then when confronted by Doors, like, "Oh, we don't want to do this because we want to stay." So he's the biggest coward of them all. Like you're gonna sit here and be an internet tough guy if someone says something about your mother, sister, or girlfriend, but then you're scared to have somebody on your show. Does that look strong? Hiding from another grown man that you agreed to talk to, and then having to be confronted by him to finally say you don't want to do it? Like, does that look tough to you, viewer? Do you say, "Wow, that's strength. That's real courage"? He really tried to make somebody afraid. It would take everything I have to not want to beat the. Yeah, I'm shaking in my boots. If I had the camera a little lower, I would show my knees like just shaking like that. No, these guys on here are just. I don't know what's wrong with them. It is funny that like rage quitting on mobile is different from the on the computer because when people rage quit during a match, if they're one of the survivors, from what I've seen of mobile, it destroys like the whole game. But if you do it on the console or PC version, you just disconnect. Like the match still goes on, just with 3 survivors instead of 4. I'm gonna beat up anyone that says something about my mother, sister, or girlfriend. But then I'm also gonna be so scared out of my mind to do a podcast with the guy that I told I would talk to a few weeks ago because of a controversy. And then I'm so scared that I can't even tell him to his face until he messages me that I want to not do this with him. That's how tough I am. Again, I say that as someone that watches secular talk that thinks he makes some good points here and there, but that's clown stuff. That's the kind of thing you'd expect to see in the circus. I'm gonna beat up anyone that talks about my mother, sister, or girlfriend. Oh, you want me to do a podcast with you? He gets in his little tiny car with his big shoes. Some people just don't want to take that L, but it's more of an L if they've been recorded. Dude, what was crazy is that for that ghost face video on the news that shows the ghost face that was moving at super speed, that was the second hacker in like 2 days that I played with. There was another hacker who was moving at super speed as well, and she was still losing. No, I have not. I don't even remember who PJ Washington is. Kyle's just a passive aggressive crap talker. He's not to be taken seriously. But again, it's funny because I'm gonna start the video showing that other hacker that was on my team and how even though they were hacking and moving at super speed, they were still losing. And if you see this stuff, you would think I sped it up or so because they're moving so fast that like the map is I don't know how to explain it. Like the map is going by very, very quickly because the game is not made for people to move that quick. No, these hackers are just. I knew they did that on the console version, but I didn't know until a few, maybe like 4 or 5, because there's been so many of them, like 8 or 9 of them now. There was another hacker where I mentioned when I was playing as killer, you're supposed to take 2 hits to take a survivor down. I kept hitting them and it wouldn't do anything, but they still ended up losing because what happened. One of these other players was on a hook, and if you grab a survivor while they're trying to get somebody off a hook in that like time it takes to get them off of there, you can grab that person too. So even though they hacked, they still lost. I just love it when hackers lose. That's the best thing in the world. When even after bugging the game the way you did, you still can't win. But no, super speed is one of their favorite things. I've seen like 5 or 6 players with that. They get knocked on the floor and they're moving like a Super Saiyan or again like Flash over here doing this. I hate that so much. Behavior needs to fix their garbage. It's just insane to me that like these people. I used to think when I was a kid that games were made by people who knew things about computers and were very sophisticated to be able to program. And it's like I guess not if just a bunch of different people can hack the game. Like this isn't just one guy; it's been multiple people that have been able to do that. So I can't wait to talk about how insane that person was for doing. It's like just like why do you have whatever? I could talk about how insane hackers are for another 2 hours. That's how nuts they are. That's how frustrating what they do is. Look at me, I'm a hacker. I'm gonna destroy this game so I can win. Now, if I could hack, the only hack I would put in is a better team. Like I'd rather. So if a person disconnects before the match starts, they'll be replaced by a bot that's playing as the same character. The bots are better teammates than a lot of the people who actually play the game because they'll do generators. They'll like put up a really decent chance of like running away from the killer. Like I've had multiple matches where I play with like one real person and 2 bots and we win because the bots are actually better players than regular people. I wish you could do that. Like if you want to play ranked matches, you could just play with like your whole team is bots except you against a killer. I would love that. That'd be really great. Damn, even bots being better than some of the actual play. Yeah, they'll. The thing is, like a lot of actual players, I don't know if it's all of them, but it's a lot of them are so scared to die in that game or to get, like confronted by the killer. They will just sit around and not do anything. And you saw this in my the second one of the mobile adventures videos, where I'm getting healed, and then like it's all 3 of my teammates are all just standing. Like 2 of them are healing me, and the other one's just standing there. Like it's a complete waste of time because you can go and do a generator. Just there's plenty of other stuff to do besides just stand there. I'm just gonna sit here like a bump on a log. So I said usually when I get defeated and my whole team gets, I get mad at teammates because a lot of times they do dumb stuff. Even with that third one, I was saying, oh, I wanted to save the player that was playing as Kate. It's like that person still decided to take me off the hook in front of the killer. So when they take me off the hook, the killer hits them, knocks them down, then can just chase after me and knock me down as well. So yeah, like I've seen bots where if the killer is around, they won't try to make a save. You know, that's why I said the bots are better a lot of times than actual other players. And if I had my choice, I would make it to where I'll play with one other person and then two bots, and we probably win every match, or win way more than we do with these randoms. No, they're terrible. This person asked me how far am I in X Men. I'm on issue 130. That's the second part of the Dark Phoenix saga. One of the greatest comics ever written, or comic stories ever written, I should say. Yeah, it's really exciting to see a story where they actually intended to keep her dead. Like usually if a superhero dies in a comic, they always have an intent to bring them back. They did this with Captain America. They did this with Batman, with Superman during the '90s. But with Jean Grey, it was Dark Phoenix was supposed to be the last time you saw her, and they decided to bring her back anyway. Kind of rare to know bots can actually outsmart or have better intelligence than some real play. The only time I see bots do stupid things is if like there's been a few instances where they get caught on a loop and they'll keep jumping through the thing back and forth. But other than that, yeah, they are better teammates. That's because the bots are programmed to play the game in a way that's optimal. They know what actions to take that will progress the game. Bots are always doing generators if they're not being chased. Um, they know to do like a pretty decent job of looping and like jumping around here. They're pretty sophisticated. Now, the only thing that ever adapted the Dark Phoenix saga in a good way was the '90s show. The only thing they changed in that is like the membership because they had different members of the team than the comic did, which I'm fine with because it still is much more accurate than the Last Stand or the Dark Phoenix movie. This is the only comic storyline I've seen attempted in live action and screwed up twice. It's so sad. That's why I'm hearing that the MCU is going to try to put the Fantastic Four in there, and they're going to like probably at the third movie put Galactus. Like, why? They're just going to ruin him as well. Because the Galactus trilogy is by Stan Lee and Kirby is considered one of the Marvel's best stories as well. But I have no reason to believe they won't botch that by having 99 cameos. That's because okay, I already read that. Yeah, those bots do progress the game. No, I'm just tired of these websites and the stuff on there. Yeah, the only website I really think is just great is Read Comics Online because they have so many comics on there and just books I never would have been able to read if I didn't have that site. Like Marvel is horrible when it comes to reprinting their stuff. Like if you want to get early Marvel issues, you have to check with Marvel Masterworks, which if you find it on the internet, usually costs an arm and a leg. Um, so it's just not usually not something I even want to bother with. I don't know why they can't just do Uncanny X Men Volume One and then like just take 6, 7, 8 issues and stick them in a book all the way up until the end of the book. Like they're so dumb. So I said Marvel is run by clowns what started as a good company with some interesting stories has devolved into just complete trash. In terms of the business decisions that they make, the stories that are told now, just it's the same thing with DC, where like every couple of years they keep rebooting. Like I remember when the New 52 came out, they were like brand new issue number ones of every character, and then like 5 years later, DC Rebirth, brand new issue number ones of every character. It's like you guys just did this not even 7 years ago. Like I thought you were gonna leave. I guess not. James, come on. We already know that's a running gag. People say they'll leave and they keep watching, keep coming back. That's why we stop blocking people. We want to see how often they do that. Because remember that guy that you said was going to come back, and then he was like, "Watch me, peace." Not even 2 weeks later, came on a stream. He left one comment. I said, "You need to leave no comments." Only time I see bots mess up is when they glitch out. That's mostly due to bug. Yeah, this game has so many damn bugs. Killers throw a hit at you, and then it somehow is able to get you from across the screen. I was like, what in the world? That's why sometimes I think they're hacking, even if they're not, because when you see some of the hits that land, it really does feel that way. Like I again, I don't turn it off or anything, but it's just people have videos of it on there where they'll show you like how they'll throw a hit and it'll look like it's gonna miss, and then somehow it lands. I think when you just play with so many hackers, you just get like used to people just everything looks kind of out of the ordinary. It's probably somebody hacking. You just start assuming that. You get PTSD from all these hackers. Is that hacker over there? Is there a hacker over here? I actually have had multiple instances where I'll play because when you do ranked match as a survivor, you don't know who the killer is going to be. And there was one time, I think last night or the night before that, where I played against the same killer on the same map, and it was the same person as the killer like 2 times in a row. It's like, oh, and it wasn't like, oh, I played in the morning and then came back. It was like within, like you do the match, you don't win it, you do another one, and it's the same person on that same. It's like I get some variety. Hey, we had recurring villains, we got recurring victims. Where it's like, hey, didn't I play against you? Like, oh yeah. Hacking is such a cheap way to win in a multiplayer game. Like I said, the only game I'll hack is Pokemon, and that's only to get the ones you can't get any other way. The rest of the game I play completely legitimately. And that's still different from playing a multiplayer game where you're hacking and screwing up other players. How desperate and pathetic do you have to be to cheat at a video game? How horrible do you have to play at this game to have to hack it? Like there are a lot of people that just play the game and they don't win, and it's like whatever. Like I've died so many times in that game, I've lost count, but you don't see me hacking. I don't understand why people would hack anyway, because they want to win. You do understand. I don't understand why people would say they're not going to watch me anymore and then come back for half a year, but they still do. That guy said in March that he was not going to watch me and my what was the thing he said? Um, Self-hating self or some kind of trash, and it's like still maybe they want to troll players. I think they played the game, they weren't that good at it, and then they just decided I'm gonna do this. And what's even scarier is you have hackers that stream on Twitch. Like They have hundreds of people that will just watch them rig a game to where nobody can win, and they don't report them. Some people take the game very seriously than others. Dude, the only people that take that game seriously are the ones that get paid for it. Like if I was getting thousands of views when I did one of those videos, right? I would be like, oh my God, I gotta play this every day because people are watching so much. But like nobody even knows who these hackers are. They literally sit there, usually getting paid nothing to just bug this game like crazy so they can win some matches and feel better about themselves. Like the most prominent people in the community for that game don't hack. And they get paid to play the game. So you would think they'd be the ones who are trying to like make it to where they always win or something. So it's not just a game, James. It's a way of life. If you see the hours that some people put in that game, you'll know what I'm talking about. I know this one guy. He was playing that game from 5 in the afternoon to 3 in the morning. What in the world? Oh my god! And then they ruined the new killer. They put Pinhead from Hellraiser in there, and he was the only killer that had voice lines, and they got rid of it after like 2 or 3 weeks. You opened the box, and I came, and they just deleted it. But then they put in voice lines for his skin for Chatterer, where when he teleports, he goes. You'll give a character that doesn't speak lines, but the one that does speak, you get rid of him. Poor Pinhead, he was the only killer in the whole game that had a voice that could actually talk, and they got rid of it. Talk about there were bugs with it. No bugs. You guys were getting memes, and that's why you deleted it. This game is another good example of remember like DLC takes precedent over making a sequel. Does the game have a way to display your playtime hours? Um, I know it does on console, but I don't know on mobile. I haven't seen that on there. Yeah, mobile is so difficult. Like you can't talk to anybody on there. You can't report anybody. The players who are actually good and decent competitors are the ones who play for years. Yeah, I'd say so. Because most of the hackers don't seem to have been playing this game, since it started. It's these new upstarts that want to, look strong by rigging the game for themselves. Let's see. Did I read everything you guys wrote or what? I think I read everything. I will say wrote everything. Like I had a transcript of this chat. Let's see what's here. Maybe they want to, just to go back to that trolling comment. It's like if you don't to sit there and hack a game just so you can troll someone. I just don't think that's. I think they do it because they want to win, and they can't do that legitimately, so they have to call this crap in. The okay, chat is dead. That's why I kept having to read the same comment over and over. The chat passed away. We give a eulogy. No, and I do the fifth one. You're gonna see just me have teammates that make me want to rip my hair out. Like I couldn't believe it. Like that first match that's going to be in the video was so winnable, and they just botched it like crazy. And again, stuff like that irritates me because when like especially like I expect randoms to just screw up everything, to just not do generate, just nothing, right? Just sit around. And that's something like one of these days I'm gonna just sit there and record every match I play so you can see how you have players when you're playing the game who will just stand there. They're not doing a single thing other than just hiding in a corner, or if you're doing a generator, just stand right behind you the whole time. And again, stuff like that, it's just like I think it's really insane. But then when people lose, they want to blame the killer. It's the killer's job to make you lose. The killer doesn't make your teammates like the killer can only chase one person, and there's all like at the start of the match, and there's four of you. So even if the killer gets that one person, sticks him on a hook, and then like one other person tries to save him, there's always going to be at least two other people that could be doing generators. They can distract the killer. I don't get how people really get mad at the killer for when they lose, but not the teammates that didn't do anything to win. And they try to tell the killer how to play. He's face camping. He's standing in front of the survivor. I can't rescue him because he's standing over there. You're supposed to play as the opposite. Like you're supposed to listen to the opposition's way in which they want you to play. But then if a killer came on that game and said, you can only play this by standing in the corner for 10 minutes so I can have enough time to get each one of you, you would say, no, forget that. I'm going to do whatever I want to win. So if you're a survivor, you get to play whatever way you want. But if you're a killer, you have to play the way the survivors want you to. I just think that's really funny that like one side has to capitulate to the other, and the other one just it's all catered toward them. I even saw this one guy who said, because when you knock somebody down, they land on the ground, then you have to put them on the hook, but you don't have to because they'll bleed out and die eventually, just much slower. This guy was like, "Oh, if you leave everybody on the ground, they might rage quit, and then you'll be deprived of." I'm like, "Well, you're going to tell somebody they shouldn't employ a strategy to win on the chance that the survivors are so angry that they lost that they disconnect from the game. So like they're not going to employ this strategy because they're worried that the side who you can assume wouldn't be happy if they lost any which way, whatever, might disconnect." You see how insane it is? Like I'm going to not employ this strategy that might make me win because I'm worried that the side that loses will react in a certain way. This game goes to show you how people really act in a survival situation. Yeah, they do nothing. They just sit around hiding and just being useless. The players in this game will just really like it's not again not players, but the survivors in this game will really drive you nuts because they play victim and act like everyone is supposed to do something to appeal to them. They really tell the opposing side how to play. You can't stand in front of this person as they're dying because that's bad. If you stand in front of them, I can't rescue them. Well, that's kind of the point. I might not get another kill this whole match, so of course I have to make sure that at least one person, goes down. My favorite thing is when you put one person on the hook and then two people go to rest because that's again it's like waste of time. Like two people are trying to do the same thing. I remember one of the things Leatherface likes to do is if you're is because his chainsaw can hit if it hits you one time you go down. Um, when they're getting the person off the hook, they let the chainsaw go off and it knocks both of them down. Usually, Mm. But aren't the killers also playing to win? Yeah. So think about this, Megumi. The people who are playing to win, right, on the side of the killer are supposed to listen to the side that wants them to lose for advice on how to play. You're supposed to do what the people who are trying to beat you want you to do so they can like you, even though if you win, they're still not going to like you anyway because you beat them. Like we have so many videos on console and PC where a person will play as the killer to destroy the whole team, and then they start writing like nasty comments like "You don't know how to play, you slug, you're a tunneler." Dude, they have so many like names for different like if you get one survivor and you stick them on the hook and you stand there, it's face camping. If you chase one person, you're tunneling. It's like what? So it's bad if you basically again you have all these rules imposed upon you by the side that doesn't want you to win anyway. They always do. Yeah, that's just screwed up. Megumi, I'm trying to defeat you, so take advice from me, please. Listen to me. Listen to the side that's trying to win over you on how to win, on how to play. Defeats the purpose. Well, see, that's why I said you might as well not even play as killer because all they're gonna do is like get upset with you for doing what you're supposed to do, which is try to defeat all of the survivors before they finish the generators and then win. No, that game will drive you nuts. Like the way people play, and then if you're on console or the other thing, the way they act, it's all bad. I might play it today. I don't know. I just tired of them acting the way they do. Oh, what did you say? How dare you try to win the game? Yeah, only game I've ever seen where the people who want you to lose, you're supposed to listen to them and take their advice. Imagine if me and another man are competing to get like to impress a woman. I'm like, dude, if you wear this, she'll definitely like you. Like, wait, why would I take your advice if you're trying to get the same thing as me? Like, what? This guy said they turned dating into an RPG where you got to do all these side quests to maybe get the date. You want to date with this woman? First, you need to buy this type of car. You need to have this type of house. You need to wear this type of shirt. Whatever way you look at it, it's just counterintuitive. Hey, Megumi, do you agree with the sentiment that they turned the damn God? You sure did. There we go with our 11th hour Rangers. Megumi, do you agree with the sentiment that they turned my chat into The Simpsons, where like it's a day in the limelight for these random people that come and write weird stuff? Like they wouldn't get attention anywhere else. They have to come here and write something. Because The Simpsons like that, where they have like these different secondary characters that, because of how long that show is, have all had like 2, 3, 4 episodes about them. Like there are very few characters in that show that haven't had at least like multiple episodes about them at this point. You got here very late. That's ridiculous. We should ban you for that. Yeah, for sure. Very good contrast. Every stream is a day in the limelight for some bizarre character that nobody ever heard of. Hey, it would be funny if you could put like a reason for something like on Wikipedia when you get like banned on there, they put a reason for it. Imagine for Eurodollar we banned is like, oh, he showed up in the last like tenth of the stream. That's the reason he got expelled. That always happens to that one person that shows up. There was one streamer, Megumi showed up all the like in the last like 3 minutes. It's like, he trying to appear in the post credit scene. My free speech. Where people can say whatever they want about you online, but if you say something about women, say we don't even say the types of things about women that they say about us. Like we don't say they're gonna shoot up somewhere because they didn't get a date or because of like trouble with men. We don't call any of them ugly and put up their picture and like write nasty stuff on their page. That's the opposition doing that, and they're supposed to be the good guys. Yeah. My free speech. I'm being censored. Yep. I had to make my cameo appearance right at the credits of the stream that time. Show up all the way at the end, just like Dio. Everybody make a last minute cameo. No, they love doing that where they pop up all the way at the end. Hey, that's the problem with Marvel movies now. Every time a character shows up for like one scene, it's a cameo. Like this is the era of having characters in something with like less than 1 minute of screen time to promote another thing. And they've been doing that since the series started. Like you have Fury at the end of Iron Man for like less than a minute to set up the second one. Then he's featured a little bit more prominently in the second one. But then you have Thor's hammer make a cameo at the end of it. You know, just they love doing that where they have some character or item make a cameo to set up something else. Fine, I'll do it myself. Pick up the gun. I told you Thanos is like the for like for I, that's why I like that MCU wasted stream because I was like, how are you gonna have your villain right that you've set up for 20 something movies show up in one film as the lead character and then kill him off in his second appearance at the start of the next movie? They could have had a whole Thanos prequel movie because there's plenty of stuff he did before any of the MCU took place, like recruiting all his different sons and daughters. They mention his father in Infinity War, but we don't get to see him. So I really wish they would have had Brolin come back and do a prequel with that character. He had less than like 3 minutes of screen time before Infinity War. Hey, that was me when I started making the romance. Like nobody's criticizing women for the like rejecting men over and over again. Fine, I'll do it myself. I'm gonna get my Infinity Gauntlet put on my hand when I make that recreation. That's how it was. It was like nobody else is talking about this. Really? It's like yeah, people talk about stupid things that women do, but like actually talking to them over and over to try to get a date and never getting one. No, nobody else. Fine, I'll do it myself, and then start making the video. Yeah, you have your last minute post credit scene. I'll be a main character in something eventually. MCU is the only series where you can show up in like 3 or 4 movies and have like less than 10 minutes of screen time between all of them. Like I would rather be the main character of one movie than have cameos in like 11 of them. I don't like that. That's why I was mad that Chris Evans didn't renew his contract. I'm like, well, three films, three solo films. The first one is an origin where he's like in the past, so he doesn't. We only really have two movies of him with the rest of the current cast of characters, and then you have four Avengers movies, the third of which he's barely in. So yeah, like that. I really wish we could have gotten a Cap 4, but we're gonna get that, just not with him as the lead, which I think is really lame. I read that they were talking to Chris Evans to appear as Captain America and Fantastic Four. Well, I hope that he does come back. I hope he enjoyed his little 2, 3, 4 year off year. I like it just sucks that we finally get John Walker and we don't get to see him interact with Captain America like in the comics. It just whatever. I want to sit here and get on my soapbox. I don't like that we only got to see him fight Red Skull and interact with him in one movie. That's his arch enemy, and we only see them do anything together in one film. I really hope they don't botch Fantastic Four again, because that film, not the first two, but that third one, that reboot from 2015, that thing was terrible. I've never that is like the new Batman and Robin. Just a movie that everybody's like, no, it's not good. Like there's a consensus, like, yeah, this is bad. Because even with Amazing Spider-Man 2, much as I don't like that, I admit there are people that do like it. But it's like the consensus is that third Fantastic Four, you can throw that in the trash. They need to stay away from Doctor. What? You do realize Doctor Doom is their arch enemy, right? Like you know that Doom is one of the most popular villains ever, and actually has been cited as one of the best super villains ever created. That's like saying the X-Men should stay away from Magneto. Like what? Super Scroll is the perfect villain in my opinion right now. I mean, if they want to do that as the sure in like the second one, but I don't know how you do Fantastic Four and then don't have Doom. He's literally the most important character of their books besides the team itself. That's like doing Batman without Joker. When it comes to Spider-Man, I'd much rather. Yeah, so do I. I'm not the biggest fan of Iron Boy. Yeah, I still remember when the fourth one was canceled. It was January of 2010. I remember I had this computer in like the back of my house, and I would go on it, and I looked that up. I was like, really? Because that was like shortly before Iron Man 2 came out. Because back then it was supposed to be Thor and Spider-Man 4 that came out the same month, and then one got snapped out of existence, and we got in the reboot era. Yeah, I think canceling that was like out of all the movie series that ended before they should have, that's the biggest one. Like, really? Seriously? And it's funny because the stuff with Garfield was supposed to be like Sony went insane. They were going to do a third one, a fourth one, a Sinister Six spin-off, um, something with Black Cat, like 4 or 5 different movies they planned on making after Amazing 2, and they all got erased. Doom's a serious threat. I'd rather have him not appear than the way they handled him in the cinema in the past. Okay, but I don't see how you take their arch enemy, who just like Magneto for X-Men appears in pretty much all of their films, has actually appeared in all of their movies up to this point, and say we're just not going to include you. Because you've had Spider-Man stories without Green Goblin, without Doc Ock, without Venom. You know, I always bring up that Norman was dead for 20 years between the 70s and the 90s. So for him, there's really no villain where he just has to have them. But that's not the case for Fantastic Four and X-Men. That's why when they do, even with these reboots that are like attempts at reboots, they always keep that central antagonist around. I do too. She doesn't get used as much as I would like, and I didn't like what Slott did with her, where he made her into like this crime boss crap. It was really weird. But yeah, she's definitely one of the better supporting characters. What was I gonna say? You know, she was originally gonna be in Spider-Man 2, and they removed her, but that's why she's in the video game, but not the film itself, because that was during like pre-production. And then she was gonna be in Spider-Man 4, but not as Black Cat, as Vulturous or some kind of crazy thing. And then Raimi later said she would have been Black Cat. They just kept trying to stick her in film. It's just like with Riddler, where he was going to be in. I gotta remember what the list was. He was going to be in the third Nolan movie. Then he got cut out of that, and then he was going to be in Batman vs Superman. Then he got cut out of that, and now he's finally going to be in the Batman. He just kept missing the cut. Wait, but if you say Doom's a serious threat, you wouldn't say Super Skrull's a serious threat? Yeah, you're right. I definitely like they added her in the game. She's an interesting supporting character. No, if you saw what Slott did with her during his tenure, he was just, oh my God, that man is the worst writer I've ever seen out of any comic writer. And now he's writing Fantastic Four, so he's probably going to botch that too. It would have added more stakes for Peter and Mary Jane as well. Yeah, the only issue I have is that I think it might have taken away screen time from Doc Ock, so I'm not too upset it didn't get added in. It's kind of like it's just bittersweet when you remember that they wanted to revisit that idea for the fourth one, and then it got shelved. Super Skrull leads in the Secret Wars better, I feel like, and they already have Skrulls in the MCU. I mean, I don't know why you can't have both of them in there. You can have Doom get his origin story in the first Fantastic Four, and then have Super Skrulls the main villain. Then they can fight Doom at a later point while he sets up Liberia. Yeah, it's not like there's a lot of comic book movies with two villains. Dark Knight has two villains. Iron Man 2 has two villains. The Dark Knight Rises has two villains. Hell, you know what? The whole Dark Knight trilogy has two villains. You think about it. So they're Batman Returns is two villains. Forever. Super Skrull leads into. It's like I know about Secret Wars. I guess they could. I just want a great Doom. I'm just saying. I don't know how you don't use him. I would think they want to set him up as early as possible because he has connections with all of with pretty much the whole Marvel universe. I'm gonna get off here. I've been going for 2 hours. I'm tired. I haven't eaten anything, so I gotta get something to eat. So hope you enjoyed the stream. Dio, Megumi, who else was here? Euro Dollar, you made your little last minute cameo. Akatsuki Merchant, James. I'll do another stream on Saturday. I might do one on Wednesday. I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna put up another DBD video this week. So Thanks for watching. Have a good day.